Greetings and welcome to Hot Topics from the Soul. I'm your host, Dr. Valerie Parker Hagan, and I'm delighted to be here once again. I have a special guest who's no stranger to Hot Topics from the Soul. His name is Michael Fineman, and he is a speaker, author, and a strategist. Hello, Michael.
How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Oh, it's good to be seen. It's good to be seen. Actually, it's great to be seen. So many people have transitioned and, not feeling well and stuff. But, it's a good thing to be connected to the right people at the right time. That's why I'm so glad that you're back and we're going to talk about the power of connection.
I love it. It's everything.
What does that look like, Michael? The power of connection, because, as a business person, we're always trying to connect with individuals for financial gain. And then on a personal level, we want to connect with that right partner.
Yes. Do you have a friend that you know if you're looking for a professional service or somebody to connect with, they know them? One of those friends that you can call and say, hey, do you know somebody? We call them, I got a guy, those guys, right? This guy's always got a guy. I'm that guy. I have connected with people for years and years and years, and I have a great memory in remembering what someone does when somebody says they need something. And so if somebody says, oh my gosh, my roof is damaged, I need my roof fixed. Oh, I have a friend I'd love to connect you with. And I put them together. And it's just little things like that. But then those things get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the next thing you know, you're connecting people that are celebrities, people that are very well known, that are household names. You're making connections because you know that the two of them would do something great together, right? And I've been doing this my entire life. I call myself a superconductor because I have been connecting people for years. And I remember somebody asked me one day, why aren't you doing that as a business? And I said, because it's not a business, it's a lifestyle.
So when you say it's a lifestyle, it takes personality to do connections, regardless of what dispensation you're in or what economical status you may have. It's a gift to make connections and be able to communicate, because connection involves communication.
It
and not
does.
everybody knows how to communicate.
And that's true. It all ties in. You're absolutely right. It does. But it elevates you. I went from a kid at 15 years old living on my own, trying to figure out life and how to make it, to a very successful man now at this point with a great family and lots of very high level connections, including yourself. We've been friends for years and you've done some amazing things out in the world. And I get to call you friend. And it's because we connected, and I never was self-serving with anybody. I'm just not. I'm there to see how I can serve other people. And if that's your mindset on how you're going to help connect them to help them grow, it's the law of sowing and reaping. The wisest book on the planet talks about sowing and reaping, and that will never end. And it's true.
Now, one of the things I must say is that you were always networking. Every time I saw you, you were networking.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, hey, Dr. Val, do you know such and such? Oh, do you know this person here? And I would be introduced to so many. Now, I'm terrible at retaining names. I'm absolutely terrible. I can remember your face,
Right.
but God has not given me the grace to be an encyclopedia as it relates to connecting the faces and the names together. So
Yes.
this book that you have about connection, does it offer any type of strategies and how to accomplish that?
It does a little bit. It talks a lot about the power of connection and how important it is. And the why usually happens from stage or through coaching or through some of the things that I teach people. But I can tell you that the reason I am able to remember people is because when I meet them, I don't talk about the weather. I don't really care about the weather. I want to talk about what makes them tick and what they're passionate about and what drives their heart in this world. And I don't really want to stay on the surface. I want to get deep quick And because I'm open to exposing myself quickly and opening up to people, it gives them permission to do the same. And so it's easy for me to remember them because I don't generally remember people by what they do. I remember them by who they are. And I take a moment
Oh,
about who they are.
okay. That makes a lot of sense. And I wish you would have told me this a few years ago when my brain was operational 100%. But
Yeah. Hey, we have some great
so
AI tools today for remembering.
yeah, and then we have all this mechanical stuff, we got our phones and then we got the computers and stuff like that. We have social media. So, do you think that it kind of eliminates the connection aspect of individuals on a personal level versus the social media platforms? Because everybody's like Instagram and TikTok and stuff. I have all those things, Michael, and I have no idea how to work them. But I have
Yeah.
a lot of people that follow me and know me, but I have no idea how to work these things. So, what you say is a fact about knowing people personally. I was out and at a social event, and I was talking to this person, and this person looked like they were standing alone, didn't really know anybody, and well, perfect target for me because I want to know, because I care about people and I want to
Right.
know also what makes them tick. And I remember I was that person that was in a room and was afraid to kind of communicate and talk because really, if I'm a shy person, believe it or not. I'm very shy. I'm like, if you don't come up and say anything to me, I feel like I'm a fish out of water. But once I get going and get, started communicating, then I'm a lot better off. But trust me, I'm afraid.
Yeah. But you
I'm
care
afraid
about
of
people.
rejection. And I think it's rejection because, they were like, oh, you're not, social status enough for me to talk to. You don't do this, you don't do that,
Right.
So I think that's what makes me kind of like uneasy sometimes.
Yeah. But you're a lover of people. And so that gets you a lot further, and I think we talked about it before when we met last time on your show, and we talked about connecting for purpose, right? Like really wanting to get to know somebody for the right reason and communicating in a way that you open up connection, right? Not just communicating to communicate. It's funny. Guys can meet another guy and they can talk about football for an hour and walk away. And the wife can say, "Oh, that was really cool. What's that guy's name?" And he'll say, "Yeah, I don't know. I didn't ask him." But it's okay because that communication was meant to be momentary. It was not meant to be a connection. And really, without even realizing it, they made a choice not to connect with that person. I just do that differently. I choose to connect with everyone I meet with. And honestly, social status means nothing to me because my identity is clear to me. So
Mm.
God's no respecter of man, neither am I. I've met some really cool, famous people. I've gotten to be mentored by them, work with them. But because I'm not starstruck, and I'm only not starstruck because we're both people. And yes, their achievements are amazing, and maybe they have a lot of money, and that's really cool. But it's not my money, so I don't
You're
get
right.
excited about it. And I'm not trying to get it from them. I'm there to serve if I can. And what happens is you develop a relationship with people that are way above where you thought you could be, or both financially and in fame, because you're not there to try to get anything from them. You're
Hmm.
just there to serve them or be a friend.
Yeah, I a lot of what you say is true. But it's people being comfortable in their own skin.
Yeah. Well, and
Basically what it boils down to.
a lot of people that are high status don't expect that. So they don't believe it. I've
Hmm.
had people ask other people about me. Is he really that happy of a guy? Is he really that joyful of a guy, or is that all an act? And I've had people ask other people and they come back and they're laughing
Yeah,
and they tell
Michael,
me,
sometimes you're at a 10. I'm like, okay
I
already.
know. But I'm happy about life and I love who I
Hmm.
am. And I love meeting people because I love people, and we talked about this before as well. I want all of them to be friends and love me, but they don't because we're not all the same. And I'm a lot. I know that. I'm very high stress, high energy, but I do want them to trust me. And if they
Hmm.
trust me, we can build something together. They don't have to
Absolutely.
love my personality, but if they trust me, we can work together.
Trust goes a long way, especially if you're in an industry that, you rely on people. Just like I said, I met this young lady and she was like, Dad, everybody's talking to you. You know a lot of people. I said, well, I don't really know a lot of people. I said, I communicate. And I said, I'm talking to you and I don't know you and I'm talking to you. And I said, being kind goes a long way. And I really, really believe that because there's so many people that are in a bubble and they feel they're invisible and that they're in a room, but they feel invisible because nobody acknowledges them being there. And I've
Right.
been there. So I make it a point, as I said a few minutes ago, to try to communicate with individuals that may feel awkward because I figure we'll feel awkward together. Because
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
uneasy too, so let's be
We're
honest.
all
That way we can
people.
stand together, be uneasy together, and
Yeah.
it has worked for me because I really believe that you know being kind and showing love could actually save somebody's life. How many people have been in a room full of people and went home and took their lives because they were invisible? You don't
Right.
know what you're saving a person from just by
Even just
acknowledging their
talking.
existence.
Exactly. Even just talking, like you said. You said to the young lady, I don't know you, and I'm talking to you. But one little conversation, one little compliment, one little word of encouragement, you have no idea what people can take that and use it as fuel and where they can take that, how far
Hmm.
they can go. I think of Les's story about that one teacher, right? Les Brown's story about that
Right,
one teacher that said, you can. So he did. And there's tons of stories like that. Someone who's been starving for approval and an attaboy for their whole lives, they can't seem to get it. One person that they look up to or revere in their space that says, hey, I believe in you and you can do this, can send them to the moon. And hopefully you
absolutely.
see them on the way by as they're passing you and keep going.
And the power connection isn't just for corporate or,
Not
business.
at
The
all.
connection is good even in family and
Yes.
relationships. I've always taught my children if one is weak, you hold their hand up and you support them because if one is down, we're all down. We got to stick together no matter what. And if we adapt those principles in our everyday life, to
Yeah.
leave no man behind as they do in the army, no man gets left behind. That's how it should be on a daily
That's
basis
a good word right there.
regardless.
Come on. That's
Mhm.
good. Yeah, it's true.
Mhm.
If you know, we all talk about spheres of relationships, right? You have
Mhm.
acquaintances, you have, business associates, acquaintances, and it all goes down to the tiniest group of friends. And they say if you have two really good friends, you're wealthy in on many levels. I
Yes.
believe I have 10 people I could call in the middle of the night, if not
Mhm.
more, that would come and help me in an emergency.
Mhm.
But there's also probably 100 that I would help, and it's about a shift. I think a lot of people go to connect to get something. If you're connecting to give something, I promise you will get something. But
Mhm.
don't be looking
Mhm.
for it. And it may not come from that person, by the way. It may come out of left field from somebody you don't know that's connecting with you to help you. But there's a reciprocal law of sowing and reaping, and it has
Yes.
more to do with connection than anything I know.
Yeah. Absolutely, Michael. And that sowing and reaping part. What does that look like to you? Because I know what it looks like to me. People use it for the biblical standard, but what does that look like in everyday life?
So knowing me, and we've been to many events together, and you see how I network with a lot of people, but I connect a lot of people and lift them up. I'm all about helping as many people get where they want to go as I can. And Zig Ziglar said, "Help as many people get where they want to go as you can, and you'll find yourself there." I believe that. As I'm finally reaching the stage in my life where I can really launch, my son is old enough. He's ready for me to hit the road full time. My wife is ready to go with me. When I reach this point, which is now, all I have to do is tell people I'm ready, which I'm now doing. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for speaking events. I'm ready to train your team. I'm ready to be your coach. I don't have to do anything at this point except let them know. And
Hmm.
all of those people that I've served, that I've helped over the years, are going to now, in their conscious mind, be looking to see if they can help me elevate because I help them. And I don't have to ask them. But if I do ask them, the answer is, let me see what I can do. It's not, no, I don't know anybody. It's, I don't know how I can help you. It's, let me see how I can help, because they're going to try. And it's because years ago, maybe I helped them once, maybe I helped them twice, maybe I helped them more than I remember, which happens all the time. I had
Hmm.
a guy at an event recently say, the only reason I'm here is because I remember when you took my family and I into your tiny little home and took care of us for 2 months when we were down. And I went, oh my gosh, I did do that. I forgot. So that's the kind of stuff. Now, to this day, if I call on him as a brother, he'll come any time of day to help me.
Mm,
Right? I didn't do it for that reason, but that's what it becomes.
mm. That's a powerful seed of connection.
It
It
was
doesn't,
so,
a seed doesn't go into the ground and die, but it goes into your future and is multiplied.
that's right. And
Yeah, that is
sowing,
powerful.
yeah,
And I have also sowed so many seeds in the lives of people. And you know what brings me joy, Michael, is when those college students come back to me and say, I appreciate you helping me when I was in school. It meant a lot to me. And I've graduated now, and this is what I'm doing now. It just brings me so much joy. And believe it or not, Mike, I have no idea who they are.
yeah, but it inspires you to keep doing it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I have no idea who they are because and because one of the things I do, I go to a mega church, and I'm in ministry as well, but I deem myself as an inspirational speaker. And my nonprofit, the Soul of a Woman Foundation, is for single parents and children living in domestic violence situation, and also caters to higher education, which I do. But I don't I just ask God to like lead me in who to plant seeds in. So that's why a lot of people, I have no idea who they are. I may be in service and the Lord said, bless them, and I'll just hand them some money and be
That's
on
right.
my way, and I can't even tell you what they look like
Yeah, but
because
you're
I'm
planting
walking in the
seeds.
spirit at that time. And that's how it is sometimes when you're making business connection. It's like you see this person with, that your personalities click, and then you can build something absolutely wonderful. And I'm going to veer off a little bit because we're running out of time, but you recently got married.
I did. Praise God, man. Gosh, this is God's proof to me that I couldn't find her on my own. I had to hand it over to him and walk away from it. And he brought her, she out of the blue, random LinkedIn connection that turned into my beautiful wife. So I'm so blessed. And then she had a daughter, a 19-year-old. So I have a bonus daughter, and our kids, both being 19, you would think they grew up together. They're best friends. So this just
Wow.
best case scenario on every level.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
And the reason why I brought that up, Michael, is because there's a lot of men and women that are a certain age and they feel they will never find love, and they will never be able to know what that looks like from Hallmark.
Yeah.
Um, and, my co host, Dr. Jay Thicklin, he got married last year.
Yeah.
And I kept telling him, I said, Jay has been my bestie for over 30 years. I said, Jay, wait. Just wait on God. I said, you
Yes.
deserve to be loved from the inside out, not the outside in. Because a lot of times people look at you on the outside and they want their expectations are about what you can do for them.
Yes.
But if you wait, you will get love inside and out. And I'm glad to see that you're the second person that waited until the manifestation came.
Yes. Yes. At 56 years old, she came. And you can
I
imagine,
was 55 when I got married
yeah, I've been a
again for the
single
same
dad
time.
for
So
14 years. And,
yeah.
you start to wonder, you're like, I trust you, God, but man, I think maybe you need my help. I should get back on that dating site probably because I think she got lost, you know? And the truth is, she didn't get lost. I never could have found her on my own. I had to wait. I had to give it to him. I had to be very specific about what I was asking for and lay it at his feet and walk away from it. And
Mhm.
oftentimes I'd be looking again. I'd be in church and he'd say, "You're scanning the crowd." You're right. Or I'd be in the store at night and he'd say, "You're looking down the aisles at single moms." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sorry." He would check me on that. But when I finally gave it up, really, really gave it up, I think it took about 4 months and she showed up.
Yeah. That's awesome. Let go and let God.
Yeah,
That
amen.
statement is
It
so
is.
real. It is real.
It's
Um,
true. I want to touch on something real quick before we wrap up. What you said about helping people at church. And my friend says this all the time. He says a tree doesn't eat of its own fruit. So the fruit that you're producing, that you're giving to all these people, don't forget fruit has seeds in it. So as you're giving them fruit, those seeds are getting planted, not just in them, but in all the people around them for what you did for them.
mhm. Yeah, well, I'm so grateful because, like I said, that helps me build legacy, meaning that
Yeah.
I was here and that I mattered to somebody, and they will always remember that, and also pay it forward.
Yes.
That's the most important thing, that they will pay it forward.
Hot
Now,
topics from the
Michael,
soul. Yeah.
if you
Hot topics from the soul.
individuals how to
Reaching
connect
all
with you,
minds, turning
they
knowledge
can
into
Yes.
always
gold.
reach out to me
Hot
from
topics
Yes.
from the soul.
the Soul of a Woman, Hot Topics
Hot
from the
topics from the
Soul.
soul.
But I want them to connect with you personally, since we're
Yes.
talking about the power of connection.
Yes. They can connect with me at MikeF360.com. F for Fineman, MikeF360.com.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michael. Here is your book, Connect the Dots. And don't forget to connect with Michael Fineman and also subscribe to Hot Topics from the Soul. It has always been my pleasure to serve you.
Hot topics from the soul. Yeah. Hot topics from the soul. Yeah. Hot topics from the soul. Reaching all minds, turning knowledge into gold.